All right, we now welcome on recurring guest. It is Brock Olsen, the Game Chat's Gonzaga basketball insider. Brock, how we doing?
Doing good. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. So, what's the date today? The 22nd.
Yeah.
I believe we are less than 3 weeks away now from Selection Sunday. It is almost March Madness time. It's been way too long. We didn't get March Madness last year.
Mhm.
Gonzaga is undefeated, number one team in the country. Is it
Sure.
is it a weird vibe around campus right now with like no fans being allowed? You just said before we started limited fans. Now they're starting to let some people in.
Yeah, so it's really just essential personnel and some family and friends right now.
So is it a weird like vibe around campus? Because I feel like usually when school is in session, number one team in the country, like everyone's hyped up. Game days are probably pretty exciting, but is it weird now?
Yeah, it's definitely weird. It's definitely different. Usually have people on Thursday games or whenever they are just out the door from the kennel, the McCarthy Center. People lining up. People are excited. You have 10 city distribution. We talked about it before, but it's pretty much just like running for tickets pretty much. It's just a different atmosphere during this time of year. But it is a totally different atmosphere right now, just with people watching from home, not able to go in, not able to kind of experience that season. So yeah, it's definitely different right now.
For sure, for sure. Um, let's just get right into it. I want to talk to you, just get to know this Gonzaga team a little bit. Do you think this is Mark Few's best Gonzaga team ever?
Yeah, there's debates around it right now. I've talked to my friends about it, but I personally think it is. It's a tough debate, but I mean, right now we have depth, chemistry, shooters, solid defense, and then our mix between seasoned veterans and just insane young talent. I'd say the one downside right now with this year's squad is that's a little different from previous squads. There's our height. We have Drew Timmy and Anton Watson who've been doing really well for us, but I mean, with previous teams, I mean, with your 2016 to 17 squad, we had Karnowski, Jonathan Williams, Zach Collins, and then the 18 and 19 squad had Rui Hachimura, Brandon Clark, two first rounders down low. So I mean, it's just a little different, and I'm not taking anything away from those previous squads, but I just the way we're moving the ball, getting up and down the court, just the way we're playing, the way we're dominating right now, it's just really special. I really haven't seen this before, so I think this is our best squad so far.
Yeah, seriously, they're a really really fun team to watch. If you haven't
Hmm.
seen Gonzaga play this year, I highly recommend it. You mentioned having seasoned veterans and then young talent. Jalen Suggs, Corey Kisper, both of those guys have been in conversations for National Player of the Year. Can you tell us a little bit just about each of them? Because that's one of them's a veteran and one of them's a freshman. Like what about them makes them so special?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, there's two really fun players to watch on top of all these watch lists. Kisper, that's our veteran player. He's the main leader for this team. Like some announcers have called this his team. So he's had to step up in many big games since his sophomore year, playing with Rui and Brandon Clark up until now. And I mean, his draft stock just keeps rising as he dominates both sides of the ball. He's our best shooter. He can change the game with a shot, and then just really just a leader on the defensive side as well. I think he's averaging around 19 points per game right now. He had 32 against Virginia, and then 23 against Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's just dominating. I'm excited to see what he does for us in the tournament, and then where he goes next year.
And then he's
And
shooting like lights out from three too. I don't know what his percentage is off the top of my head, but
his
he's pretty efficient, right?
yeah, his field goal percentage is over 50%. It's at least 55. So I mean, the guy is just electric from three. So it's really fun to watch. But then like you said, Suggs, he's been the main talking point this year. Just really fun one to watch. Came in as a top 10 recruit, highest in GU's history so far, and he's exceeding all expectations. I mean, averaging 14 points per game and then 5+ rebounds and assists. I think every game. I mean, he's just running in there like jumping over these like 7 footers, just getting rebounds. That guy's fun to watch. And he had 24 points against Kansas and then 27 against Iowa. I mean, that Kansas game was our first one. Like I didn't really know what to expect. and he came in, puts up 24, and then leads to a dominant victory over them. Like, he just looks like a senior out there. And
Yeah, well, that's why I think he's so fun to watch, because a lot of these freshmen that come in that are top 10 recruits and that have a future in the NBA don't tend to play as hard as a guy like he plays. Like, he's going after every loose ball, very unselfish. Like, he has games where he doesn't score very many points, but he's getting steals, getting rebounds, getting assists. And I think that's why he's so much different than all these other guys.
No, exactly right. I mean, yeah, when you come in as, like, I think he was the number 7 recruit, it's easy to get cocky, especially at like a big school, or not a big school, but big basketball school like Gonzaga. It's easy to get cocky, easy to get selfish, and then kind of hinder the team and not let them go as far. But I mean, that's just what's awesome about this team. They're so unselfish, just sharing the ball, and they play super well together.
I'm looking at Kisper's stats right now: 55% from the field, 45% from three, and then 88% from the line, while averaging 19 points a game. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's putting up those numbers and then just lifting everybody up. Just he's an exceptional leader out there.
So we talk, like, when you talk about just college basketball and winning like March Madness, winning the national championship, it's usually not those teams that have those insane freshmen. Like, I personally think about like that Duke team from 2 years ago with Zion, with RJ Barrett, Cam Reddish, these guys who were like all top 10 recruits and all went in the first round of the draft. And I don't even think they made it to the Elite Eight. I think they lost in the Sweet 16. And it's because of the depth and like the rest of the team. So who are the key players for Gonzaga? Who's the rest of the team? Who's the depth pieces? You mentioned Timmy and being down low. Because I think that's probably the best part about this Gonzaga team is the depth.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, exactly. So, like, we obviously talked about Corey and Jalen, and then you just mentioned Drew Timme, who's also all over watch lists, and he completes what a lot of people call the best trio in basketball: Drew, Jalen, and Corey. And then you have Joel Iai as our 4th man with a ton of experience, same year as Corey, and yeah, just a ton of experience and talent there. And then our 5th spot, it started out with Anton Watson. Now it's rotating with Andrew Nemhard, who's one of our transfers from Florida. He's just been lights out as well. Great transfer pickup there. So yeah, that 5th spot kind of rotates back and forth. But really, that's what's so cool is our 5th and 6th man. It could be either one. You could throw either, like, if you want height, you could throw Anton in there. But Andrew's just done really well as a guard right now. So you can really switch those guys around. Doesn't matter. But Aaron Cook is our 7th man. He was a transfer from Southern Illinois. And then we really have several other younger guys, too, that can step up, like Julian Strother, Martinez Velasquez, and Dominic Harris. So, I mean, with a healthy squad, we have at least 7 guys that could easily start and give any team a run for their money and just give them a tough time. And, yeah, I mean, it's like you said earlier with a freshman, like, dominating. That's not how it usually is. Like, in years past, Mark Q loves to get these guys in, build them up, and then kind of in their 3rd and 4th years, they'll dominate. But kind of building that chemistry, that's special because Jalen's been able to come in and just look like he's already playing like a senior. Like, he's already, like, mashed in with these guys so well.
Right. And like you said, he's the highest recruit in Gonzaga's history, and he's only number 7 with a program that's been so good as Gonzaga has in the past 10, 20 years. That's pretty rare in nowadays of college basketball. So that's been impressive that not only is he the highest recruit ever, but that they also took him on and then he's fit in as well as he has.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like I said, usually Mark Few likes to develop players and you see him thriving junior or senior year, but Jalen Suggs is special. He just come in and just a team player, just diving all over the court. I mean, he's not like, obviously Zion, like, I mean, he was a big man. He could just go and just dunk over anybody. Jalen's like a guard. I mean, he's able to dribble around all these guys, shoot the ball almost as good as Corey. It's fun to watch.
Right, for sure. So I was going to ask this a little later, but if it's the national championship game, 5 minutes left, tie game, everyone's available. Who's your, all these teams talk about closing lineups, best 5 on the floor. Who would you send out there for if you got to decide who the best 5 were?
Yeah, I know it's tricky. I mean, like I said before the roster, like we kind of switch around that fifth spot, so that's not really set in stone. But if I'm thinking about it and have to choose a five, I'd say Jalen Suggs, Joel Ayayi, Andrew Nemhard, Corey Kispert, and Drew Timme. I'd put Andrew in over Anton. It really depends because, like I said, that's interchangeable. Like if we need height against like a team like Baylor or something, you could throw Anton in there and he'd just as likely kill it. But Andrew just played well. He's shooting the ball really well, so he's adding to like our shots on the three, which is could be really effective late game. And I mean, he's just a really good guard. Like he plays well with the rest of the team. This is his first year transferring in, so that'd be my five. I think like that's what we've seen in late games, like West Virginia, kind of BYU, like those games when it's pretty close. We have that five out there, so I'd
I
say
did,
yeah, those five.
I just saw a tweet from John Rothstein, who's #1 college basketball reporter. He goes, Andrew Nemhard, since being inserted in Gonzaga's starting lineup, 11.3 points per game, 3.5 assists, 2 steals, and just under 1 turnover per game. And he said changes the ceiling.
Yeah,
So I like that.
no, that was such a good pickup. I mean, Andrew Nemhard and Aaron Cook, those two transfers have just added to our depth so much. It allows us to kind of play different styles. Like you can put Anton in there, have the bigger guys in, have more dominance down the post, throw throw Andrew in there and just I mean be lethal from the three. When you have Andrew in there, you have Jalen Suggs, Andrew, and Corey, and Joel Ayayi, who are all
Yeah,
insanely good shooters. So you really don't know who to cover. Like there's always gonna be a man open, which is really cool going into the tournament.
definitely, definitely. So this has been a popular, like I talked about it a little bit actually, with the other guys, with Brandon, Eli, and Matthew.
Mhm.
It's been a popular prop bet kind of thing going on to win the championship. People are saying you either get Gonzaga and Baylor or the rest of the field, and they're pretty much even odds. So who are you if you were taking that bet? Do you think you taking Gonzaga or Baylor or the rest of the field
So are you saying Gonzaga and Baylor in the title or any other team
to
besides
win
those two?
to win the championship?
Oh,
Either
just Gonzaga
Gonzaga,
or Baylor to win.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, personally, this is an unbiased opinion. I'd take GU or Baylor.
yeah,
Um, yeah, that may sound biased. I mean, like if the championship was right now, like it seems like GU and Baylor's kind of the long-awaited game. We were supposed to play them early in the season, got canceled because of COVID. So I've been waiting to see that matchup. I think it'd be the best one. Like they could put on the floor in the championship. They've both just been so dominant. Obviously, we talked about GU, but Baylor just big squad. They're undefeated as well, kind of dominating ranked opponents just like we are.
for
So
sure.
yeah, obviously March Madness, anything can happen. It never turns out just like 1 and 2. But I mean, right now those are the two most dominant teams in basketball right now, and they can obviously get upset. But if I was putting money down, I'd put either GU or Baylor because I don't really see any other teams. Just like if they're playing their good game, they can beat any team out there. So
Definitely, definitely. Do you think there's Brandon actually mentioned this on the show? He was like, do like is Gonzaga trying to move out of the WCC, because it seems like there's this fatigue almost with Gonzaga every year, to where, and especially this year, you guys play a gauntlet of a non-conference schedule. I mean, this was
mhm,
when we were home, both of us back in Bothell, and we were watching Gonzaga games like twice a week, it seemed like, because
mhm,
they're playing a ranked team every week. And now you guys go and play, and the teams in your conference aren't all horrible. San Francisco, St. Mary's, BYU have made a name for themselves, but then you have
mhm.
these games against like Pacific and San Diego where it's like any team's going to win those games. So is there a fatigue, you think? Are you worried at all about the recent schedule? There's a lot of teams that think Baylor should be #1 because the Big 12 might be the best conference. I mean, I don't know. Where do you stand? That's kind of a loaded question, but
Yeah. I mean, personally, obviously, I would like it would be cool to move to another division. I mean, you just get some more challenge coming into the tournament. It seems like Gonzaga and Baylor really just flop schedules coming in. 'Cause like you said, we had I mean, Kansas, West Virginia, Iowa to start the year. And now we're playing kind of more conference schedule. I mean, I have like the WCC is only getting better. Like you said, BYU is becoming a solid team. San Fran beat Virginia, but hasn't really done much since that. Then like we see these games against like San Diego Pacific. Like we turn it on in the first 5 minutes, we're up by like 20. We're like, okay,
Right.
like yeah.
Right.
But yeah, but now Baylor, they kind of had a kind of a slower start to the season, but then are getting in their ranked opponents right now. So yeah, I get where that argument's coming from. Like obviously we're not playing as challenging of teams as we could right now. And I would personally love to see a lot more ranked opponents before going into the tournament, just so we don't get complacent. But I don't know. Hopefully the WCC gets stronger. We'll see. I don't really know where we stand on. There's a potential moving of divisions, but
Right. No,
yeah,
I
we'll
mean
see.
it's tough because you can play all these non-conference opponents that you want, but it's tough when you've played 4 or 5 bad teams in a row going into this tournament where you're supposed to be playing your best basketball.
Hmm. Exactly. Yeah. I mean, yeah, like I said, I wish we had more matchups like that. Just that, I mean, like I don't really listen to that talk. Like, oh, Baylor should be number one. Like
Right.
Gonzaga's not playing good teams right now. Like, and I can say like obviously that's gonna be an argument right now, but I hope Gonzaga uses that as motivation, just like coming into the tournament and be like, all right, like I just wanna shut those rumors up. Like there shouldn't be any debate,
For
and
sure.
hopefully they just play their best ball because I mean Baylor will be well prepared playing these teams are going in, but we'll see if they like, kind of get overworked with all these tough games and then go to the tournament and then just kind of maybe a Cinderella team just comes out of nowhere and gives them a run for their money. So anything can happen in the tournament, but yeah, hopefully we just use that as motivation to come in and just kind of play our best ball.
Agreed. Agreed. So you mentioned like we talked about having no fans, how much that sucks. But you told me a couple days ago that like a Vegas trip is kind of what seniors at Gonzaga look forward to because that's what the WCC Classic or WCC tournament is.
Hmm.
Do you think that'll happen? It's not happening this year, correct?
Yeah, they just released a statement last week saying it's canceled just because yeah, obviously there's too many concerns with COVID. You can't get that big group going and traveling into Vegas.
Yeah. Do you think it'll happen next year though?
Yeah, we'll see. I can't obviously you can't guarantee anything during these times. I hope it will happen. I'm hoping we can control this spread and things are changed next year. We'll be able to kind of see more games, but we'll see. Yeah, that's one of the best parts of Gonzaga. You have the Vegas trip senior year. You get to watch your team, but nothing's really gone as scheduled so far. So I don't really
Yeah.
keep my expectations
Seriously.
high.
Seriously. You have any thoughts on what Russell Wilson has been saying about the O line? Like, I haven't talked to you a ton about that. Do you have
Mhm.
any? What are your
I
thoughts?
mean, yeah, I definitely get the frustration there. The end of our season was not looking that good. Playoff loss was just hard to watch against the Rams. He's constantly having such low time in that pocket. But the Hawks clearly don't want to give him up. His recent major contracts, and it would upset our fan base even more than that playoff loss did.
Seriously.
We lost Russell Wilson. But so I mean, he's reaffirmed. I saw something how he wants to stay in Seattle forever. Like he said, like right now it's a Seahawks decision. Like I want to stay in Seattle forever, but they seem to involve him more in decisions, so he can feel like we're trying to fix or find solutions for him and get him another ring. That's the main thing he's worried about. We need to find solutions and make sure we're getting good guys in the O line for him.
For sure. For sure. I hope we figure it out, man. Hope we figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I don't think he could go anywhere right now with better weapons in Seattle. I mean, we just need to fix that
Yeah.
O line clearly, but we have DK, Lockett, some really good tight ends. We'll see what happens with Carson, what we do with him. And I mean, our defense was really starting to come together at the end of the season. We have so many weapons on the defensive side. So
Definitely.
I mean,
Definitely.
I don't think you can go anywhere better as long as we figure out that line. We just need to involve him more, keep him happy, and just hopefully he won't take any more big contracts so he can keep the weapons around him and keep himself healthy.
For sure. For sure. Couldn't agree more. All right, man. Thanks for doing this. I appreciate it.
Of course.
Hope everyone listening learned a little bit about Gonzaga. I'm excited for March Madness, and we're just around the corner, man. It's almost bracket season. I'm really excited.
Oh yeah, yeah, going to the moon.
For real. We'll be rooting for the Zags. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you. That was fun.
Yep.